afternoon, everyone. Welcome. Thanks so much for attending this Google Hangout. We are live. It's 3 p.m. here on the East Coast, specifically Connecticut. And I'm so excited to serve you with this never-before-seen presentation called 7 Simple Steps to Living a Life You Love, even if you think it's too late. My name is Michelle Green, author of No More Big Butts and founder of lifeandstuff.com. A special welcome to Myrna, Dorothea, Tony, Brenda, Cal, Jenny, Raj, Oliver, and Laura. Welcome Belinda, Jessie, Cynthia, Melinda, Ido, yes, Serena, and all of you watching now and on the replay. Yay! Now, I mentioned a few moments ago that this is a live event. No retakes, no safety nets. Now, you've probably heard the saying, if anything can go wrong, it will. The thing about technology is when it's good, it's very, very good. But when it's bad, it's definitely not better. So if the technology gods don't smile on us today and the video freezes or your screen freezes, perhaps we lose the audio or it's out of sync, do a refresh. If that doesn't work, consider shutting off your device and restarting it. If you've gone through all those shenanigans and it still doesn't work, go read a book. No, I'm just kidding. On a positive note, if all goes well, there will be a replay immediately after the event, so you'll be able to watch on demand at your convenience. Now, I want you to engage with me during this event and submit your questions in the chat box. I'll pause a couple of times to check for any questions or comments, but no nasty grams, okay? Now, if you have a friend or two that may be interested in this hangout, there's still about a minute left to send them a quick text or email. The web address is right here. It's michellegreen.com/live. So give me a few moments. I want to share my screen with you so we can get started, okay? Getting started here, and hopefully you should be able to see my screen by now. Great. So let's pull apart the topic of today's event, 7 simple steps to living a life you love, even if you think it's too late. Now, is it really possible, or is this just a bunch of new age fluff or positive thinking? I want to say yes, it's absolutely possible, and that's why we're here today. Now, I can appreciate that you may have a sinking feeling that the more birthdays you have, happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, your best years are behind you. Well, it's a common belief, but like most things that are common, it's not always true. You see, the best years of your life may be behind you, but the best experiences of your life and the rest of your life can be better because you have all the benefits of experience, also known as failure. And now you can focus on what you want and stay away from things that don't serve you. So consider this presentation your free lifestyle upgrade. I want to encourage you to reinvent the way you think about your life, because when you have a shift in perspective and upgrade your thoughts, which I'm going to cover later on, fabulous things begin to happen for you. So let's go over the agenda. It's going to last about approximately 90 minutes or less. It really takes your Q&A into the factor. So about 45 minutes of pure content. And then you can use the chat on Google+. Like I said, I'll pause a couple of times to check for any questions or comments or feedback. And then that'll dictate how long the event will last, okay? Now, who is this hangout for? Like I said, you may feel like the best years are behind you. You may feel it's too late to do the things you want. It's too late to go back to school. It's too late to start a business. It's too late to anything. It's just, you just feel that you are using all these excuses. And maybe you feel that life just didn't turn out the way you thought it would be. You know, you're a little bit disillusioned and a little disappointed. So maybe you feel that your best years are behind you. But I want to let you know that that is absolutely not true. Now, you may have heard that there is no such thing as a free lunch. Well, there's a catch to this presentation. When I'm done, I'll send an invitation for you to go deeper on this topic with me. But here's the catch, only if you feel that it's right for you. So only you know if this is something that you want to explore further. And if so, there'll be an invitation for you at the end. Now, my promise to you is the 7 simple steps that to live a life you love. My promise, I'm going to give you the most information and real world tactics. I'm just going to give it all to you today. And I hope that there's someone out there that can benefit from this presentation. Maybe you just signed in and you're watching on the replay and you're a little bit discouraged. And there's nothing wrong with this being discouraged as long as you don't stay there. It's okay to take detours. It's okay to have a party, a pity party, but don't be the last guest to leave. Go to your pity party, look around, feel sorry for yourself, and move on. So I want to give you as much value as I can today. Now, for those of you that stick around, I've got a free gift for you. It's a Getting Things Done cheat sheet. I know we have so much to do. You know, the internet provides so many distractions. Everything is fighting for our attention and we lose focus. And this Getting Things Done cheat sheet will help you regain your focus and actually provide a way. It's 1 page, so you're not overwhelmed by all this information. So just stick around to the end and I'll give you the link instantly so you can download that. Now, one thing that we need to be aware of is time and energy. We can either abuse both time and energy, or we can take advantage of both. You know, you abuse time by thinking you have so much time, and maybe that's why you're feeling that your best years or your best experiences are behind you, because you thought you had so much time, and now here it is, you feel like you're actually running out of time. Well, we do have limited resources of both. Also energy. Maybe you're not as energetic as you were when you were a teenager or in your 20s or 30s or even your 40s. But it doesn't matter, because once we are aware of a situation and once we're aware of an item or a thing or whatever it is, we can start making progress to making it work for us and not being taken advantage of it. So you may say, but Michelle, my life sucks. Like I said, everyone once in a while has bad days. You know, I don't really believe so much in positive thinking. Yes, I have a positive outlook, but positive thinking all the time without anything to back it up, it's not going to do you, or it's not going to help you in living the kind of lifestyle that you want. And you all have this vision of what you think it could be. So my thing is, if you feel that your life sucks and you've been given lemons and, you know, things aren't just the way you thought they would be, well, the solution is to just add water and sugar and make lemonade. So when life gives you lemons, go ahead and make lemonade. It's really about the quality of your thinking. You know, if you think your life sucks, well, guess what? It sucks. If you think that there's things that maybe are out there, because there's levels of learning. You know, there's things that we know, and then there's things that we don't know. And just because you don't know of a solution doesn't mean the solution doesn't exist. So the quality of your thoughts are really going to dictate the quality of your life. Now, before we get too far into the presentation, I just want to share the little, cheat sheet version of who I am. Again, this is my husband, Sam. We've been on 24 honeymoons, as he likes to say. Every time we go on vacation, we try to take an annual vacation, and people always say, "Are you on your honeymoon?" And he always goes, "Yes, yes, we are." So the first one was taken. That was our cruise honeymoon, our first honeymoon, and that was on a cruise. And the 24th honeymoon, that was this past June, and that was on the ferry heading over to Seattle. So also, I'm the author, like I mentioned earlier, of No More Big Butts. And it's called 7 Transformational Steps to Banish Excuses from Your Life. And I'm going to post 7 of the steps today. That's what I'm going to be sharing with you. I'm also an amateur comedian. So don't worry, I'm not going to bore you with bad jokes or make you, sit around. I'm not going to try to keep it as as joke-free as possible. I don't want to bore you. And I've been a flight attendant for about 14 years. I know, long time. But I'm fortunate to have a 35-hour work month. Yes, a 35-hour work month. So one thing about the airline industry is the more seniority you have, the juicier your schedules can be. So I work about 4 or 5 days a month. So that usually that works out great for me. So I want to share with you this 4 words. I know that's 5 words, but I already know that. That's a very, very common phrase that a lot of people, when they hear something, their first instinct is to say, I already know that. But sometimes we need to hear something again and again because we only know it in theory. So I'm telling you, don't believe anything I say unless it works for you. Not everyone has the solution for every problem in the world. There's going to be people that you'll meet that you will have a natural liking to, and sometimes the same thing you've heard for years can suddenly click. So like I said, don't believe anything I say. Make sure it works for you. It's good to be skeptical. A healthy amount of skepticism is good, but not enough so that it stops you from living a life that you love, okay? And that's exactly why we're here. So let's jump into the 7 steps of living a life you love. Now, I know this first one, you might get a little upset at it, and it's about taking personal responsibility. No one likes taking responsibility. And the reason I say it's the first step is because it's almost the foundation. It's like a building block to living the life that you have envisioned. Without responsibility, you can't move forward. You're always stuck. You're always revisiting the same situation over and over and over again. And you just can't move forward because you fail to take personal responsibility. And this really comes into play because I love to watch Super Soul Sundays, and sometimes there's a repeat, but I caught Paulo Coelho. He's the author of The Alchemist. It's been translated into hundreds of languages all over the world. So I was rereading it again, and one of the phrases in the book that he mentions is, at a certain point in our lives, we lose control over what's happening to us, and our lives become controlled by fate. And this is basically when you don't take personal responsibility, or a lack of personal responsibility is what causes you to make you feel that your life is being controlled by fate. So I know many of you may have heard of the popular cult sci-fi movie, The Matrix. And it's basically about having a choice. He meets and he's given a choice. One of the characters is given a choice of 2 pills. You can take the red pill of responsibility and explore everything and find out the truth, which, like I said, it doesn't really serve a lot of people because they prefer to take the blue pill and just pretend and live in a bliss and pretend everything is okay and just blame people, situations, circumstances, and things for the way they're living their life. So my choice to you is this: which pill do you want to take? Do you want to take the blue pill of blame and just blame everyone, your parents, the government, your job, the economy, for how you're living your life or why you can't have the lifestyle that you want? Or are you willing to take 100% personal responsibility, swallow that bitter red pill. And initially it's bitter, but eventually it can help you design the lifestyle that you love. So I hope you're going to take the red pill. If you're not going to take the red pill and you take the blue pill, maybe this is a time for you to part ways. You know, if you're not going to take responsibility for where you are in your life, that's the first step. Like I said, the building block. So let's continue on. And I hope you've all chosen the red pill. Now, step 2 to living a life you love is all about overcoming your gremlins of fear. And fear is it grabs you, and it just allows you to not want to do the things that you want to do. It's such a powerful emotion, but there's only 2 real fears that we're born with as babies: the fear of loud noises and the fear fear of loud noises. And that is something that the other fears are things that we develop as we go on. Our situations, our surroundings, our families, or neighbors, or everything around us creates fears that we have. So these gremlins, these are like the little gremlins, and it really came from the phrase back in, it was for when an aircraft seemed to be perfectly fine. And then once the pilots were in the air, all these things just happened to go wrong. And that's where the phrase, the gremlins are at it again. It's really like an aviation phrase where it was derived from, and not just the kids movie, but the gremlins of fear are there to sabotage your life. They want to sabotage your life by making you think that the fear is bigger than you. One thing I learned about fear is that I always wanted to wait for the fear to go away. The fear is not going anywhere. It is not going to go away. The trick to taking over fear is you have to do it anyway. It doesn't matter if you're afraid, you just have to do it. And that's where courage comes in. And it's not about really being fearless, meaning without fear, because we all have fear. And fear is there to preserve our lives. I love this quote by Joseph Campbell. And it says, "The cave you fear to enter holds the treasure that you seek." And that is exactly what it is with fear. People are always saying, "Oh, I'm so afraid, I'm so afraid." Perfect case in point. Every year as flight attendants, we have to go through a training. And every year we have to do like mock drills. The plane's on fire. Oh, the plane crashed. I know, not the most fun things for you guys to hear, but we have to be able to be proficient in these drills. And the first day of training, everyone's so nervous because there's such requirements that you only have 2 tries. And if you don't get 2 tries, you're going to have to go home. And no one wants to face the embarrassment that they're flying and they can't evacuate an aircraft. So everyone's there worried, and they're reviewing their procedures in their head. And as soon as it's over, everyone comes out of the simulators and go, "Oh, that was easy. Oh, that was easy. That was easy. Oh, no problem." But about 5 minutes ago, they were just so fearful of the humiliation and the embarrassment of what if they fail? What if this is the year they fail their drills? So the things that you're afraid to do, you just have to have the courage. And that's what courage is. You have the fear, but you do it anyway. And that's how you can sabotage the fear, take the fear from you and do it even though you're afraid. Don't wait for the fear to go away, because I don't know if it's ever going to go away. And you can spend a lifetime reading books, going to seminars, coaching, therapy, trying to get rid or erase a fear of a certain thing. And the thing is, like I said, the guy on the surfboard, just do it while you're afraid. So step number 3 to living a life you love is my favorite. And it's all about imagining your possibilities. So what does it take to imagine your possibilities? Is it all about positive thinking, only seeing the glass as half full, or never thinking that, always saying that there's no problems, even when there are apparent problems? That's not what it means to imagine your possibilities. It means that you don't edit your thoughts, Possibilities are things that you dream of, things that everything starts with a thought. People are always thinking that these magical things happen because someone is so smart, and that may be true, but basically it all starts with an idea. Someone asked themselves the question, is it possible to go to Mars? Well, they did that. They send these little space machine cameras out. Is it possible to go to the moon? We've done that. Now, Sir Richard Branson is getting a spaceship ready to go to space for vacation. And it all started with possibilities. Ask yourself the question, is it possible to, and fill in the blank. Is it possible to live the lifestyle that I feel that I'm worthy of? Is it possible? And then there's things, once you have made the decision, that is the first step. It's just like, what do you really want, and not what you think you can get? You see, we always say, well, I want this and I want that. And you may know how to get it. It's not really a stretch. And you feel very safe in thinking up things you want because you kind of know that you can get it. But what do you really, really want? Not what do you think you can get. And once you stop holding yourself back, that is the first step to imagining your possibilities. These are the dreams. These are the goals. These are the ideas. These are things that you feel, it'll never happen to me because of my situation. It'll never happen to me because I live in this country. It'll never happen to me because I'm a man, I'm a woman, I'm black, I'm white. That is not the question. The question is, what is possible for you? And everyone's going to have a unique answer because everyone is different. The lifestyle that I would consider something I love would be absolute terror for someone. Someone would be absolutely terrified if they felt that they had to go to work in a plane. I remember one time I was going for a dental procedure, and I'm very, very squeamish. I don't like needles. I don't like anything like that. And I remember when the dentist came back, I had tears in my eyes. And he said to me, are you crying because of this? And I'm like, yes. He's like, I don't believe you. You're crying because of this, and you fly around in the sky all day and don't think anything of it. So that's why I say what you want and what you consider the life that you crave is going to be totally different. And don't look for anyone else's don't let anyone put their expectations on you. You can look to someone else's life and things that they have for inspiration, but it truly is a custom design lifestyle. Start with the question, what is possible for you, not for someone else, and then go from there. The thing about your possibilities is you get unlimited second chances. You can try something, and if it doesn't work, you can go for it again, and you can tweak it, you can try it, and you have unlimited chances to do this. No one's going to say, you know what, that's the 50th time that you tried to lay tile. No more chances for you. That's one thing you should be reframe. Everything that you desire, the life that you desire, if you don't get it on the second go around, the fifth go around, the 10th, remember, you have unlimited second chances. Don't give up on yourself, because that's usually the biggest thing. Most people give up on themselves. And once you give up on yourselves, that's pretty much it. The world is so willing to give up on you. Why do you want to assist them? There's no need for you to assist them by giving up on yourself. So believe in yourself and don't give up. You have all the second chances in life that you want. So I'm going to check the chat box and see if there's any questions before we move on. Just give me a second to check on that. Okay, I don't see any questions, so great, I'll continue on. Okay, step number 4 to living a life, ULOVE, is to discover your secret self. Your secret self, what is that all about? It's really the way you feel about yourself that no one else knows. You may have chaos in your life and no one knows about it because on the surface, everything looks great. But inside, your secret self knows there may be an opportunity that only you know about and you're willing to take, but you're still so afraid that you can't take the action steps needed. Now, one thing I think is really cool, if you have a moment, maybe not now, but sometime when you're online and pull up a translator, type the word chaos into the search box and translate it into simplified Chinese. And you'll get the above symbol on the left, which is right above chaos. Now, type in the word opportunity again and translate it into simplified Chinese. And you can see that the symbols are exactly the same. It's the chaos that can bring the opportunity. For instance, let's say that you needed a new stove or a new oven or a new appliance or whatever. People are thinking that the opportunity comes in the form of a check. It doesn't always come in the form of cash or check. I mean, it came in the form of an escrow refund. That's always great. Yay. But sometimes from your chaos, an opportunity is born. You may need a new, a new appliance. So a new dishwasher. And you said, I don't have the money to buy a dishwasher. So you start making your famous cupcakes that everyone always says, oh, you should bake these cupcakes. And you figure, well, maybe if I can get a few pennies together, I can make some cupcakes and see what happens. And in baking these cupcakes, you find out word spreads and it presents itself in an opportunity for you to have a part-time business. And that's the opportunity. That opportunity arose out of the chaos because you're thinking, I need a new dishwasher. So for those of you that still wash dishes, God bless you. I have always hated washing dishes. So thank God for my husband. Even though I have a dishwasher, I still hate putting dishes in the dishwasher. And even worse, emptying them. So look at your chaos. Again, maybe ask what is possible. And not all the time, but sometimes chaos can present the best opportunities for your life. So you have to unlock the key to how you see yourself. The world will always treat you the way you set the tone. If you don't treat yourself well, guess what? They're not going to treat you well. If you disrespect yourself, if you're not kind to yourself, they'll do the same. You're teaching people, you're teaching those around you, your children, your family members, your coworkers, you're teaching them how to treat you by the way you treat yourself. So once you find that secret self inside of you and you can unlock the key, you are there to having the life you want. And it's not always going to be easy. Everything is not going to be easy because if it was, everyone would be living these fabulous lives, but it takes work. And sometimes we're unwilling to pay the price because we do have to pay a price for everything we want. So sometimes you have to decide if you're committed to that. Now, having the life that you want, you have got to be entitled. And I know this might leave a negative taste for a lot of people because they always hear it used in like, oh, the wealthy think they're entitled, or celebrities think they're entitled, or I look at it as if you want to design a lifestyle that you want, you've got to be entitled to having or feel you deserve. And the Merriam-Webster definition is the condition of having a right to have, do, or get something. And I look at that as the condition or the right to have the lifestyle that you love. And again, it's custom designed because only you know what it is you want. Once you design the lifestyle you love, you'll feel like you're privileged because you set that up for yourself. So don't use entitlement as a negative. Use it as a positive in helping you to design the lifestyle that I know you're worthy of. So if you have any questions or comments or feedback, you can go ahead and put them into the chat box. I'll do a refresh here to see if there's any questions. And if not, we'll just continue on. Excellent. Okay, step 5 is all about identifying the beliefs that control your life. So what do I mean by beliefs? I'm not really referring to religion here, who you believe in or your creator. That's not what I'm talking about. Beliefs are statements, and they're usually several statements that you hold to be true. And all these beliefs, they're like a mosaic. They form and they create the lifestyle that you currently have. You know, that responsibility is that we talked about earlier, step number 1, taking responsibility for where you are right now. It's all the beliefs that you have. Now, some were given to you. Most of the beliefs we have were given to us by our parents. They're an inheritance and you can't give it back. So these beliefs that you have, it says who is responsible for my life? You are. So your parents, your neighbors, the clergy, your school teachers, they all gave you these beliefs and you just accepted them when you were a child. And that's where most beliefs are really formed. But if you come to the age and you ask yourself, is this serving me? Or I love what Byron Katie from The Work calls, is it really true? Or is it something that you have that you think is true? See, things that are really true, we look at it from a filter. We all have this filter. We have a belief filter, and everything that happens to us in the world, we pull it through, or it's filtered through this belief system that we have. So when it really comes down, it's really, is it applicable to me? So one way you can start this process is list out all the things. Look at the different areas of your life, your love life, your physical, your health, your well-being, your spirituality, your vocation, finances. Look at all those areas and start writing out statements. And then re-examine the statements by asking the question Byron Katie poses. Is it really true? For instance, let's say I can't lose weight. Okay, I'm gonna maybe say that. I can't lose weight. Okay. Is it really true? I can say, well, am I really that unique of a human being? Is my biology so unique that I can't lose weight? So the first statement, the first question is it really true? No, it's not really true. So why can't I lose weight? Remember, I mentioned earlier, there's a price to everything that you want in life. And the price is, if I want to lose weight, there's things that I already know that. I know that I have to do. I have to restrict my diet and I have to work out. I have to really get my heart rate up so that I can, create a deficit and lose weight. Am I committed to that? Not really, because it's not painful enough for me to want to lose weight. I haven't had that huge, oh my gosh, you're the biggest person I've ever seen. You look like a cow. That hasn't happened to me yet. And I have to get on the other side, but I'm really not committed. And that's the truth of losing weight. I'm not committed to losing weight because I don't want to pay the price, because I enjoy sitting on the sofa watching the Property Brothers and Love It or List It. And I love watching those shows. And I'd rather watch those shows than go for a walk or join a gym. See, when you're realistic about whether you're willing to pay the price or not, then you can get to that's where the beliefs come from. So the belief isn't really that I can't lose weight. It's really that I don't want to pay the price to lose weight. So go through all the different statements and ask that question and see what kind of answers. If you're really honest, are you willing to pay the price? And is it really true? So what you really have to say is stop all of these negative thinking that you have. Like I said, it won't work, or I'm too old to lose weight. Yes, but it's getting cold. And or when it was hot, yes, but it's too hot. There's always going to be an excuse, there's always going to be a big but. That's why I wrote no more big buts. There's always excuses, and the excuses are so insidious, you don't even think they're excuses. You use them to rationalize why you can't do something. So stop using them as a crutch. Just stop it. Then we come to thought reinvention. And thought reinvention, I like to use it because your thoughts are really the quality of your life. Like I said, imagine your possibilities, and everything starts with a thought. You imagine what is possible, and that starts off as a thought. You start thinking differently. One of the things about living a life and designing a life that you want to live is the thoughts that you have, the negative chatter. You've heard of the program, The Voice? Well, you have this voice in your head, and it's usually not a pretty voice. It's always the voice that you can't do that, and why are you doing that? And that's not, no one your age does things like that, or people like you aren't in that industry. These are the thoughts that we have over and over again. And we have heard so many negative thoughts. And the thoughts weren't really there to hurt us. Most of the negativity that we heard, it was really to prevent pain for us. Those that cared for us, they did not want to see us hurt. So they would say things like, oh, you can't do that, because they felt the bigger picture we weren't worthy of that bigger picture, and you never want to tell children that they aren't worthy or you don't believe in them. And sometimes the way they do that is they just kind of say, well, instead of doing this, how about that? So you've had enough of those thoughts your whole life. And if you want to make a change, it sounds so cliche, to change your life, you have to change your thoughts. Think about that. If you change the way you think using thought reinvention, take a thought that you have, a negative thought. You don't have to make it positive. You can always neutralize it. You can send it packing. You can ignore it. You can say, thanks for sharing, move along. You can reinvent the way you think. It's going to take a while. It may take you 30 days, 60 days, depending on how negative your thoughts are. And if you think you don't have negative thoughts, just for an hour, write down how many thoughts that you have that don't support you. They don't absolutely have to be negative. Things like, it's going to rain today. You better not do your hair because you know how it looks when it rains and how your hair looks. Something that's not really negative, but all these little chips chip away at your self-image of who you see yourself to be. Remember, we project who we are from the inside. Makeovers are great, but unless you make over your thoughts, you're going to end up living the same life year after year after year. And I don't think that's something you want. That's why you're here. You want to figure out or get some insight or basically just get reminded, because you already know that. Most of the information that I share in my book, No More Big Butts, it's practical information. It's common information. But like I said, things that are common aren't always done. So monitor those thoughts. Write out all the things for at least an hour, that the thoughts that you have that could use some reinvention, and use them to live the life that you want. Now, winning habits. We are just creatures of habits. We really are. Everything we do is habitual. I love this because it's over 250 years ago, and it is so true even today. It says the chains of habit are too weak to be felt until they are too strong to be broken. So let's look a little bit at that. The chains of habit are too weak. So maybe let's go back to the weight loss analogy again. The chains of habit are too weak. Things like, oh, I'm just going to sit here and watch this 30-minute show. Oh, I love the Property Brothers. I'm going to watch this. Oh my gosh, House Hunters is on, even though it's on like 24 hours, but I'm going to watch it again. Something very simple, such as watching TV. It doesn't seem harmful. It's very weak. You do that enough, and pretty soon that dent in the couch is going to get deeper and deeper and deeper. And the chains become so strong that it almost seems impossible to be broken. You start thinking, can I imagine my possibilities to lose weight? You can. But the habits that you have are so deeply ingrained in you that you do it almost on autopilot. This happens to me so much. Sometimes I go back and forth and go into the mall. I want to get something and I'm heading back home and I said, oh, I want to stop by the grocery store because I want to make XYZ and I want to make something special. I want to make like Thai peanut sauce or something. So I want to stop by the grocery store to get the special ingredients that I don't normally keep on hand. And because I am so ingrained to use the same route over and over and over and over again, I forget the exit. And before I know it, I'm in the garage and I'm like, oh, I wanted to go to the grocery store. And that's how habits are. They're almost slave-like because we have so many things that we do on autopilot that we are just not able to break. So it is possible. Like I said, I do believe it's possible. But again, here is the price that you have to pay. You have to become a slave to good habits. And you start creating small things. You don't do something huge like the weight loss. I could say to myself, okay, I'm going to cut back on the TV programming. Okay, I'm going to park further away at the grocery store so I can walk. These are small little things. We just looked at the chains of habit are too weak. Well, we can start building them up. The smaller little things that we can do eventually until they become strong things and we become a slave to our good habits. So that's something that I really want to encourage you to sit down when you have some time, maybe today, later today, or sometime over the weekend, and make a list of all the habits, things that you do so automatically that you're not even aware of, and then evaluate them and see if they contribute to a life you love or just a so-so life, okay? Now, the seventh step, the final step to living a life you love is to implement and take action. Nothing happens without action. You can sit around all day dreaming up really great ideas. You can think about, oh, I want to redecorate my bathroom. But unless you take action by actually going, maybe you go on house.com. Love that website. You can stay there for hours. Any of the great decor sites online and start getting some ideas and start making maybe a little lookbook and saving some snapshots and some ideas. Unless you start taking action, and then finally, maybe the action step would be to contact a handyman or a contractor. Or if you're like a DIY or a do-it-yourselfer, go to the home improvement store and start getting some paint chips and some samples. You've got to take action because otherwise it just stays in your head and it doesn't get out, and you can't serve anyone, your family, your friends, if you don't take action. Now, that's one of the things that I love about taking action. If you have a so-so life, or if you're looking to create a lifestyle that you really love, the antidote is you've got to take action. All the steps that we talk about, put them all together. They're great. Each step on its own is fabulous, but each step on its own without any action to back it up is going to get you nowhere fast. So look at the things you can do, and you don't look to do huge things all at once, because guess what? You're just going to get so overwhelmed. And that GTD worksheet I promised you, I'm going to give you the link in a little bit. You can use that to take action. The antidote to a mediocre life is to take action for the life that you want. So let's talk a little bit about perfectionism. And this can hold so many people back from taking action. You know, we always want to get ready and we want to make sure things are just the way perfectly done. And, you know, then we fire. That's traditionally the way that we're taught in school. Anything that you want to do, you want to ready it. So you want to prepare, you want to aim, and lastly, once you get everything together, you want to fire. But that's not always the way to get things done. It seems backwards, but you get yourself ready, you prepare, you fire, and then you aim. I have a girlfriend, Tony. She has, we call it the T3 method, the try, track, and tweak. You try something, you track if it works, and if it doesn't work, you tweak it and you try it again. So you continue doing that. So ready, fire, aim. Don't allow procrastination, because perfectionists think that they're trying to get everything just so. But a lot of the times you get so bogged down with all the details, you never bring yourself to actually getting out there and doing the things, taking the action steps, taking that action, click, that you must take in order to start living a life you love. Now, I hope I have delivered on my promise. I shared with you some tips, a little bit of stories on the 7 steps to living a life you love. So let's recap. We talked about taking personal responsibility. And one of the ways that you can start taking responsibility today is to stop blaming other people for your situation or for where you are. This happened 5 years ago. This happened 10 years ago. You must take the red pill. I hope you're still here, the red pill of responsibility. And that is the foundation of living a life you love. So the gremlins of fear, remember how we said, the fear is always going to be there. The fear usually doesn't go away. And it's not about becoming fearless. We don't want to like get rid of all our fear. And I don't know of anyone who's really fearless, but we want to be courageous, because courage is acting despite the fear. So don't wait for your fears to go away. Just act in the face of fear. So this is all about number 3, imagining your possibilities. And this is where you get to dream and ask yourself, what is possible? Not what do I think I can get, but what do I really want? And don't edit yourself. You know, we think that we're not capable because maybe someone like us or someone similar to us has never done that before. But it's time for you to see what's possible. And that's how number 3, imagine your possibilities, takes care of. Now, that secret self is that self-image that we have inside of us that no one else sees. And once we take steps to build that confidence, build our self-esteem, we teach people how to treat us by the way we treat ourselves. You can start small. Maybe a little wardrobe update might help you. Maybe a new hairstyle. All those little things, even though they sound superficial, go a long way toward helping you feel really great about yourself. And once you start feeling great about yourself, people start treating you differently. And you're thinking, oh, is it really the haircut, or is it really the confidence that the haircut gave you? Now, step number 5 is to identify the beliefs that control your life. Now, we talked about beliefs. Beliefs are really statements that you perceive to be true. Remember, they're not actually true statements. We all have this filter and we run everything through it, like I mentioned, and ask yourself, is it true? Use the Byron Katie method. Is it true? Step number 6 is to create winning habits. Remember, we shape our habits and then our habits shape us. These are small things that we do on a daily basis. Many times we're not even aware of. We're not aware of, but yet they have a huge, huge contribution to the way we live. And finally, to put steps number 1 through 6 all together, you've got to fire up action. You've got to implement what you learned in personal responsibility and taking over your fear, imagining your possibilities, your secret self, your beliefs, your habits. You've got to implement and take action on all the above 6 steps. Without any action, you're just going to be going from seminar to seminar, like I said, therapist to therapist, looking for the next hit, the next big book, when all the information that you have, most of it, you already know. And if you would just take step number 7 and implement and take action on what you already know, you will be so much closer to living a life you love. Now, I don't think we have any comments or questions. I'll check one more time again. And again, I just want to thank you guys for hanging around. I'm so happy that you're here, and I'm delighted to be able to give this presentation to you. Now, I want to give you a special invitation. Remember earlier I said that there is a catch, and the catch is I'm hosting a live 3-week fun shop, very similar to this format, starting October 2nd. And basically, it's called the Design a Lifestyle That You Love. We'll dive a whole lot deeper, more than we've had time to do in this short presentation, into each of the 7 steps, plus a lot more. And in week number 1, we'll look at how you can expand your mind for possibilities. Now, we really touched on how you've got to imagine your possibilities. Expanding your mind makes everything, brings it closer to you. We're going to look at focus. Focus. There's so much distraction. You know, there's a sea of distraction online, in your life, at work, at school, at church. There's so much distraction. And we're going to talk about how you can develop fabulous focus. We're going to look at enculturation programming. And this is all the programming that you've been given growing up with your family, your relatives, the family reunions, the weddings, the funerals you go to. It's all part of enculturation, and we will discuss it and see how we can harness the power and make it work for you to design a lifestyle that you love. And then we touched on that voice earlier today. We're going to show you some time-tested strategies to banish that negative voice in your head. This alone is so instrumental in designing a life that you love, because that voice, remember we thought about if you can just reinvent those thoughts in that voice, we're going to give you practical, tactical steps for getting that voice in your head banished. Week number 2, we'll look at who do you really think you are? You know, so many people have this image of themselves. They're really afraid. And I share with you how you've got to feel entitled. You know, when one of those Williams sisters goes on to the court to play tennis, she doesn't walk out there hoping, oh, I hope I win the trophy this time. They feel totally entitled to win every time. So we're going to look at that. We're going to look at how you can rewrite your reality. And that is something that is so important for you to do. Most people don't do this. They look at what they have. They look at their upbringing. They look at their personal history. But we're going to show you how to rewrite your reality. And then this is a huge one, the ghosts of your past, your present, and your future. There's that ghost of your past always telling you, you can't do this, you can't do that. Or the ghost of the present is like, do you really think that's possible? Or the ghost of the future, of a future that never comes. You give up the present to live into the future that it never comes. It robs you. So we're going to show you how to release the need to be right. And I'm sure you've heard the phrase, you can be right or you can be happy, but you can't be both, you know? So that need to be right, that's an ego-driven thing. So we're going to look at that and some of the causes of it. And finally, in week 3, we'll look at cultivating absolute belief in yourself. These are steps that you can take. These are tactics. These are exercises that you can take to develop belief in yourself. Remember those statements we talked about? That is how you can stop giving up on yourself and believe that you are worthy, whatever it is you want to do, whether you want to run a marathon, whether you want to start a nonprofit, whether you want to go back to school, whether you want to be the next senior VP at your company. It doesn't matter. We're going to use the power of belief to do that. And then we're going to hitch our wagon to a star using the power of association. You've got to find people, places, and things that are in support of the goals, the outcomes that you desire. Now, something that we really don't like to hear is all about sacrifice. And sacrifice isn't always about giving up things. It's about releasing something that's no longer serving you to make room for something better. And this is something as even as simple as cleaning out a closet. There's things in our closets that we don't use. There's about 20% of the clothing and the shoes and the accessories in our closet we use, and the other 80% is just hanging on the floor in the back closet, taking up precious real estate space. So we can use sacrifice in our physical surroundings, and we can use sacrifice in our emotional surroundings or our emotional thoughts to help us get from point A to point B. And then we'll put it all together. We're going to show you, we're going to take all the components from week 1, week 2, and week 3. We're going to put it all together in a customized plan that serves you absolutely. So you'll also get a companion fun book, which is really great because you can't measure what you can't track, okay? Or you can't improve what you can't track. You've got to say, like, here I am starting out from point A, and here's my destination, point B. We're going to give you the fun book, which includes exercises so you can follow along and stay on track and keep up with the things and the goals that you've set. So this live training starts next Thursday, October 2nd, 2014 at 3 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. It's going to be a private hangout, approximately 1 hour, similar to this format. The replays will be available so you can watch on demand on your schedule. You'll be able to ask your questions live, or if you're not going to be available that time, you can just submit via email your questions ahead of time, and I will answer them on the live hangout. And again, the fun book to track your progress, which includes your weekly homework assignments. Now, you're probably thinking, okay, now how much is all of this going to cost me? Well, it does have a value of $397 because we do have 3 hours. It is in a group format and it's live one-on-one with me. So I'm not going to charge you $397. No, you already know it's not going to be $397. It's not even going to be $297. What I do want to share with you are the exclusive bonus offers that you're going to get. You'll get the PDF download of my book, No More Big Butts, and that's in PDF format. You'll also get 2 more bonus offers. It's 101 Secrets to End Procrastination. And you will see how once you get on a program to recognize procrastination for what it is, because what it really does is it steals little pieces of your life, and it's so insidious that you don't even know it's happening. And a lot of times as we start having more and more birthdays, we start looking for our life's passion. What is our life's passion? And this great resource will help you, as you will go through that, and you will find out what things are what are the things that bring you joy? What are the things that you can use to share with others, okay? So those are your exclusive bonus offers that I'm going to throw in. And it's an introductory special. It's only $97. So you can go to michellegreen.com/fun shop. And I'll put that link into the chat box for you. Just remember that doors are going to close next October 2nd. So you want to be able to get your registration in before that happens, okay? So I really want to thank you for that. If you have any questions, we can just go through. If you have anything on the chat box, you can do that. I'll just take a real quick peek for that. And I will paste the link to the Fun Shop, as well as the link to the free gift. I do want to thank you. I'll post all of those into the chat box for you. So those links are live, and you can definitely go ahead and use those. So again, there's 2 special payments of $49, which is a budget-friendly version. And then for 1 payment of $97 for a payment in full, you get exclusive access to my bonus liftoff program. It's 7 days to redesign your life. And if you want more one-on-one time with me, 1 payment of $197 includes a 30-minute one-on-one call with me. So you can review those options, choose what's best for you at michellegreen.com fun shop. And again, I want to thank you. I did post that link into the chat box, the live link to download your Getting Things Done cheat sheet, showing you how to get more things done, get focused. And if you want to get a copy of my book, feel free to go to michellegreen.com/big butts. You can get the paperback or you can get the Kindle version. So I really want to thank you so much for spending time with me today. It's been my privilege serving you with this exclusive presentation. I hope you found at least one thing from it. If you watch the replay, just look for one thing. Remember, you don't have to get 30 things to have to make a significant difference. One little thing can help you get started and increase your happiness, increase your joy, and increase the best years of your life, okay? Again, thank you so much for joining me. Again, send any questions to hello@michellegreen.com. Thanks again. Have a great evening. Bye-bye.